Other interesting cultural news, you have the Chicago mayor removing the George Washington statue from City Hall. Put another dollar in the jar of Trump was right. Now, this comes to us thanks to End Wokeness on X Twitter, saying, quote, breaking, Mayor Johnson is removing George Washington statue from the hallway of Chicago City Hall. Which, yeah, when it comes to the culture of Chicago, very, very similar to the politicians as well as the football team over there. They'll be good next year. And that's a joke because, yeah, this has been run by, politically, it's been run by Democrats for 93 years by now. And culturally, yeah, no, it continues to be worse and worse and worse, causing most people and businesses to leave because it's Chicago. It will not be good next year. Now, again, in terms of the city and the people there should be cultural pushback from this. And one of the best men in history is George Washington. Especially during July, they're doing this, really, what some are calling MAGA month. Disgusting. And yeah, Trump was right. As soon as they started to tear down the Civil War statues, Trump said, there's no limiting factor. They're just going to keep doing this and doing this and doing this. They won't stop. And this has been proven time and time again, and is a big cultural issue in the United States because, again, you should not play that drinking game if every time I mention 1984, you take a shot because you'd surely end up in the hospital. I do not recommend that. However, I do have to mention that book. Just like in 1984, they erase history, they manipulate history, and they tore down all the statues. There are so many parallels to that book, culturally and politically speaking. It is horrifying. And yeah, everyone should read it. I don't think most public schools do actually have that these days. They have perverse books to push. But yeah, if we had a sane society, everyone, left, right, center, everyone would be saying, no, this is part of our history, part of our culture. I mean, George Washington, quite literally, one of the founding fathers, setting up the most successful country in history, with the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, second to none. And yet, you have more and more people cheering statues being torn down. Just illegally going up in the middle of the night to tear down a statue. Now, in this case, you actually have the government tearing it down, which is even more evil, which, given Chicago, we should not be surprised. Now, this also shows the resource allocation and the attention of what Chicago mayor is doing. He also spent, $500,000 to study reparations, which is a big, hot cultural topic. Also immoral for people who have never owned slaves to pay for that, but nevertheless, yeah, George Washington. And it's a nice statue. I believe it's probably bronze or brass or some type of metallic material. A little roped off there. Now, I'm actually surprised given the politics these days, they're not melting the statue down or destroying it with a sledgehammer. Though it is early in the day, perhaps the Chicago mayor will do that. Now, Web Viral got 1.5 million views, as well as 17,000 likes. Well, the first comments comes from Paul Zuppa saying, quote, Chicago Mayor Johnson isn't removing the crime, but is removing the statues. Got it. Getting 1.5 thousand likes. But yeah, spoiler in terms of Chicago and the ineptitudes of the culture, as well as the police and the whole government over there. Over the 4th of July weekend, earlier this month, there was 100 shootings in downtown Chicago. And spoiler alert, they have the strictest gun laws on the books. So no, gun laws have nothing to do with actually gun-related incidents. It's all about culture. I remember I grew up in a suburb, so thankfully, I was relatively safe, of course. But everyone kept saying, "Oh yeah, the guns are coming in from Indiana, so that's why we need to have even tougher gun laws." Which I would simply say, "Well, wait a minute. If it's only laws, it's easier to get guns in Indiana. Why don't they have worse crime over there? They have a couple areas that are not great. Obviously, there's crime in the major cities, but it's not to the extent of Chicago. It's a specific cultural decay that is Chicago that leads to having one of the highest crime rates ever. And fun fact, if you remove the top 6 cities in terms of crime in the United States, globally, the U.S. drops dramatically in terms of global crime related, not just petty crime, but also murders and deaths. Now, other top comments come from the Texas one saying, this will definitely stop the killing of the black community, getting 737 likes. Planet of Memes says this guy is absolute abysmal male, getting 944 likes. Now, that might be a fun question from the comments. Who is more of an inept or immoral or evil mayor? You have Lori Lightfoot, which, she was at least funny because she looked like one of the Beetlejuice characters. But then you have Mayor Johnson. Both very divisive, not building the community up. Yeah, which one's worse? Let me know in the comments there. Planet of Meme says this guy's an absolute abysmal mayor, getting 944 likes again. Elon Musk had exclamation point, getting 6.4. Oh, I thought my like might push it up to 6.5 thousand. Unfortunately not. X Van Fleet which I believe is a very, oh yeah, I need to follow this person. This person is Chinese by birth, American by choice, survivor of the Mao Cultural Revolution, defender of liberty. This person does exceptional interviews. I've seen him a couple times. And this individual says, quote, they hate America, they are Marxist and communist, unquote, getting 7.7. Wait, can we make it? Oh, okay. We weren't the lucky one to push it over the top. I did like it, but it did not get just 2.8 yet. It is currently at 2.7 thousand likes. Liberal Media TM says, I truly mean this. It's a sign that says no one, and I mean no one, has done more to harm America than Democrats. Unquote. Getting 1.5 thousand likes. But keep voting the same, Chicago, and see what happens. Yes, things will not get better. Scrolling down more and more. They would never do this, but El Chapo X says they should replace it with this, and it's a bronze image of Donald Trump holding his fist bump in the air after the attempted assassination. Which, yeah, Chicago of all places wouldn't. I mean, it's the bluest state, and yeah, especially the district, of course. But yeah, they would never do that. I mean, they hate Trump. And that's 999 likes. Let's put it over. There we go. We got to 1,000. We made the difference in that regard. Scrolling down more and more, you have Western Invasion saying "Wake Up America" is a U.S. Not sure. Oh yeah. Oh, it says there. So statue of George Washington at a different location. However, it is covered with a Palestinian flag as well as the kitchen towel, and it says Joe Biden's America, courtesy of Democrats, and it says, "Are you awake yet?" They got 319 likes. See, Nancy says, if we still can't identify evil, we deserve what we get. Richard Karl Marx says, keep people from their history and they are easily controlled. Gained 314 likes. See, there's any contrarian statements here. Because again, there are some major radical leftists who love this type of stuff. This is a new word. I never heard this, or never heard this phrase before. Robert Seffer says, Afrocentric communism, the worst kind, getting 967 likes. Let's see. Junita Broderick says, what an ass jerk, getting 503 likes. That's a new word too. Although to be fair, I'm not sure if these are like Scrabble official types of words. Oh, here's a good infographic. Unfortunately, I do not see a URL to an actual source. However, the Florida one says the Chicago mayor always focuses on the big stuff that clearly will decrease illegal crime and gang violence. And it's a little infographic saying violent crime in Chicago rose by 11.5% in 2023, highlighting safety concerns and their need for better crime prevention strategies. Got 54 likes. And yet, they do the same thing again and again and again in Chicago. Which, that's the definition of insanity. I'm not sure that people will, again, you're going to need in order to fix Chicago, you need a huge, momentous cultural shift. There's many variables that they need to fix that. But until they actually turn their culture around and start valuing building communities and nuclear families, which statistically speaking is one of the best ways to escape poverty and build our country. Unfortunately, I just don't see things getting any better anytime soon in Chicago. And again, I don't want I never want people to be hurt. I mean, they just keep pushing the same thing again and again, and the policies are clearly not working. The culture is not building the area up. It's continuing to break it down. So I really do hope it gets better, but I just don't see it happening anytime soon. So let me know if you think differently, especially if you're a resident of Chicago, or more accurately, statistically speaking, one of the suburbs of Chicago. I'd be especially fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, giving me a thumbs up or a thumbs down or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I could make the show better and better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.